Here's the deal, boys.
Yes. Brian, I forget to mute my mic during the 5 minutes. I would prefer to have a meeting with you during that 5 minutes with everybody, just so they could see how we do business and like how you're putting out fires and everything's screaming and cats are yelling. But yeah. Can you guys hear me? They must be able to hear me. They heard the cough. This happened yesterday, remember? Well, guys, if you can't hear Brian, that's okay. I often put him on mute as well, but not intentionally. How are you guys doing today? Let's see who's in the chat. Kenneth LaRoque, Adam Mardell, Anthony Mark, Archmage Frey. That's a lot of A's. David Nunya, Jeremy Snyder, Matt Vader 74, Heart Girl, and Doomed Huh. And I'm sure other people will be joining us. So glad you guys are here today. We have some awesome stuff to talk about today. Are you back, Brian? That's off. Yeah. I can hear you. What's up, Chappie? Can you guys hear Brian in the chat? Oh, as always, you always figure it out.
Well, you can hear me now, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, can you guys hear him now? Okay. Still no Brian.
They're like,
all right. So in the
they're
meantime,
like, no, we can't.
in the meantime, I'm wearing the Save the Gate shirt. I don't know if you guys can see it. Save the Gate shirt. Our Stargate video just dropped this morning while Brian tries to figure out. Oh, okay. Looks like they got you, buddy.
Okay, good. That was weird. I said, can you hear me now? And Chappie's like, nope.
So what's the problem? This happened 2 days in a row.
Yeah. Well, that's a problem when you're TriCasting. You have to check multiple settings. So
okay.
My brain is foggy. But you know what? You can hear me now. So here we go. You know what? You had a brief reprieve from my gravelly smoker's voice, and you only had shame for just that moment.
I thought mine was a gravelly smoker's voice.
Revel in it. Revel in it.
Hey, so I am wearing my Save the Gate shirt because we just put out our newest Stargate video. Brad Wright came out with some news, some disappointment in the fact that Amazon is essentially ignoring him and ignoring his script and all that good stuff. And we put out a video on that so you guys can see what's going on. Now is the time. If you're a Stargate fan, now is the time to make your voice heard loud and clear. With MGM Plus coming out in January, there's probably something going along with the Stargate news and all that information. But the way Amazon is, and you guys know how Amazon is, they tend to like to hire people with no experience to do things. We need Brad Wright, the co-creator of Stargate, to be making new Stargate or be involved in some way, shape, or form. So when you get a chance after today's live stream, if you can watch that video, leave a comment and a thumbs up, of course, and then go sign the petition if you haven't already done so. If you love Stargate, this is how we get our voices heard, and we just need to keep pounding the pavement on this. So anyways.
Yeah, we have 36,000 signatures. So we did get top signed. But 50K it's another milestone. So let's get in there. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely.
Okay, man. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the Artemis 1 mission. And I'm sure Shane is going to be speaking about that mostly because I don't know anything about it.
I got deep into it last night, man.
I know.
I'm excited.
I can tell. I can tell.
When I start sending you graphics, then
you send me graphics and like Wikipedia links. I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be a big one.
Yeah, it's good.
Star Trek 4's Zoe Saldana hints at some larger problems with the franchise. Rant of the week: Dave Chappelle is the voice of reason. Prove me wrong. The Weekly Terry. Starfleet Academy should follow Picard, not Discovery. The new Alien reboot movie? Is it a reboot? Oh my God.
I don't know. They're being a little, but interestingly, she looks like Sigourney Weaver, young version. So I'm just
interesting.
Like, we should talk about it.
Is Willow staying true to its origins? That actually, Willow is coming up here next week or two, and I have some reservations about that show from everything I've read, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. But we'll see. Looks like the DCU 8-year plan is happening. It's coming to completion. Doctor Who and Bigots. You bigots. You are the reason that they've derailed their Doctor Who woke plan.
Don't forget our rant of the week.
That's going to be a fun. What's that?
Don't forget our rant of the week.
I did. I said Dave Chappelle.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay, well, it's Dave freaking Chappelle. Let's just go there.
I said Dave Chappelle is the voice of reason. Prove me wrong.
I know, but...
And a little more Doctor Who news to wrap it up. Doctor Who and Matt Smith returning to some degree. So, looks like as Doctor Who starts to fail, they start pulling out all the most popular doctors again. I'm like, okay, let's get David Tennant. Let's get Matt Smith. Come on, bring him. The ratings are bad.
Chris Eccleston?
Huh?
Chris Eccleston? Anybody? Chris Eccleston?
I mean, he's all right.
No, he was terrible. He was not a good doctor.
Nah,
although he did help get it relaunched. It was David Tennant that kept it strong.
Yeah. David Tennant and Matt Smith. Those are my favorite. All right. So it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a great show. Dave Chappelle versus Tim Russ. I don't know. That would be something to behold because I don't think
Tim Russ would survive it.
I don't think he would survive it. Yeah. So here's the deal. This is when they say don't ever meet like your heroes. I guess that can mean people you look up to, right? I always loved Tuvok, and like the more I've read Tim Russ's ranting ramblings, I have just I don't think he's very bright. So, but I'll leave it there. He's just.
You don't think he's very bright?
No, I don't think so. I think Dave Chappelle would chew him up and spit him out.
I don't know if brightness is the problem, but more like just unbelievably filled with hate. I think might be more like it. It's so many people out there that are just consumed by their little Twitter circle or their social media circle. It's a shame to see people just completely pulled apart by it mentally. And it seems like he is, which is why we can't do Legends of Star Trek Twitter, because it's all-consuming fire of...
I know. I made graphics and everything. We were going to do the weekly Legends personal logs, but they're so crazy, like flaming horrible that it's not going to be good. It's just going to be... We are just going to start ranting. That's it.
Yeah, we don't want that. Nobody wants that. We've done that. Nobody.
Well, we do that once a week, and we delegate a certain amount of time to that. Okay. Archmage Freight said, I met Tim Russ. He was a fine person, but he seemed like he might be a little autistic or something. No offense. I mean, it's could be on the spectrum.
Wait, why is that a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Oh, I see. So, but what makes you think he might be autistic?
That's what Archmage Freight said in his comment. I'm just reading his comment.
I'm sorry. Archmage. I think probably not, but most autistic people are very reasonable. Like they have like their reason bone is like huge.
Yeah, they're logical. Yeah.
They're very logical, and Tuvok, extraordinarily logical character, but Tim Russ, not very logical human being.
Not very reasonable.
And that's not about his political position. It can be whatever he wants. It's just the types of things he posts that I can't stop watching because we follow all Star Trek people, and it's just difficult sometimes.
Oh man, that there was one tweet that I actually saved on my phone. He was like, well, lost another 1,000 followers today. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's not because of the Twitter stuff going on. It's because of your take.
Yeah, he was trying to blame Elon Musk for losing 1,000 followers. It's not Elon Musk's fault, bro. Have you read your history lately? Sorry, go ahead. What?
No, it's good. If I look a little disheveled today, I apologize. I had a rough night. This is a crazy story. I don't know if you guys have pets that have ever had like a litter of animals, but we have a dog who had a litter of puppies in the middle of the night last night. The problem is that this litter was born on my son's bed with my son. We had no idea the dog was that far along being pregnant, right? And yeah, so it was really 3:30 in the morning, the wake up of, oh my gosh, there's puppies being born. And then at about 6 o'clock in the morning, my other son woke up and he couldn't breathe because he's got like this really bad thing going on. He's got the flu really hardcore right now. So it was like no sleep last night. So I'm just happy to be here so we can hang out with you guys. And my wife is over there dealing with all that stuff. So.
Oh, finally, there two of us haven't gotten any sleep. All right.
Yeah. What did you do last night?
Edited video. Yeah.
Not as exciting, but definitely better, for the fans.
Yeah, it was pretty funny because I got the video done at like 1 a.m., right? It was all wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow. And I'm doing my final render. And I noticed that if you watch the video, there's this part where like the tweet gets highlighted. That's not a real highlighter, that's graphics, right? And for some reason, every time you saw that, for some reason, those little render files were 90 gigabytes each.
Dang.
I don't know what happened. I must have had a bad setting or something in After Effects. And so I kept rendering, and then like going back to sleep. And I would wake up just to check on it. And every time I woke up to check on it, I was like, I just hope that it's done so I can just go back to sleep and I'll upload it in the morning. And every time it was like failed. And I finally figured out because there was like 3 files in there that were 90 gigs, these 3-second files, ridiculous, insane size. So I converted them, rendered it, and by the time I was done, it was like 4 a.m.
So you haven't had any sleep either, but that's pretty normal. Brian doesn't sleep typically, so he sleeps at his desk working. What kind of puppies? Poodle puppies, Matt Vader. Poodle puppies. Yes, so lots of little yappy dogs.
Savage puppies. Poodles.
Savage puppies.
We call them guard poodles. All right, man.
All right.
So let's rock and roll. What do you want to do first? You want to do Artemis first?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's really important that we talk Artemis because, we are sci-fi guys, and like part of the reason science fiction exists is because people have this, people want to go, among the stars. We want to go and, have adventure and search out new things. And that's kind of what has been happening. We have NASA here in this country, and nothing really awesome has happened since the moon landings in the 60s and 70s. Not really. Nothing towards like true space adventure. We've sent out satellites, and we've, done a space station, and we've sent things to other places. But, the Voyager missions were sent, in the 70s. The moon missions, were sent. We had put men on the moon. Finally, Artemis is like the beginning of going back to the moon and finally trying to get a foothold in our own solar system, which I think is really important for humanity. And yesterday, early in the morning, Artemis 1 launched. Now, if you can pull up the graphic, Brian, do we have the graphic for Artemis?
I didn't know we had started the clip. You just jumped right into it. I wasn't
It's not a
recording
clip.
or anything. Oh, okay.
It's not a clip.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't put this anywhere.
Just be on the same page. Here is the. Wow, it's a huge graphic. Oh my God. Let me remove us so that they can see it.
Yeah, and this is what's cool about it. So this is Artemis 1, and we have if you just leave it kind of out like that. Artemis 1 launched. It's going on I believe it's a several week mission, and what they're trying to do is they're saying it's an unmanned mission. So they put these 3 mannequins inside where the actual astronauts will eventually go, because Artemis 2 is going to be a manned launch, and then Artemis 3 we will finally put people on the moon again. So this is happening, Artemis 1 in 2022, and then Artemis 2 is supposed to happen 2023 to 2024, and then in 2025 we will finally put people back on the moon if everything goes smoothly. And I would just like to say, whoever becomes the next president, do not screw this up. And because they cancel programs at NASA all the time, and it would be a complete shame. So they're essentially
real quick. Let me just break in here real quick because I'm a little confused. So this is Artemis 1, and you said that's the one with the mannequins.
Yes, this has mannequins, and they're basically just testing if they can go through the procedures of what they need to do to get a vehicle back to the moon properly. And they're also launching like 10 satellites.
Okay, so all right, so this is so 1, and this is 2.
Yeah,
right?
So 2 is actually going to be a manned space flight. If you guys remember the movie Apollo 13, where they had that accident,
right?
With Tom Hanks and everybody, they actually did this mission essentially where they went out and they orbited the moon and then came back to show that, because when you go to the moon, you have to get there in steps. You got to show that you can be successful in every way so you don't kill somebody trying to land on the moon. Okay. So phase 2 is actual people, actual astronauts doing a moon orbit and then coming back and showing they can do everything in the process.
And phase 3 is going to be like the final phase, I'm assuming?
Phase 3, they're going to drop those booties on the moon.
Okay. All right.
So it shows in all the steps how it's done. These are fantastic graphics. You can get it through Wikipedia.
Great graphics, but I got to bust in here for a little rant.
Go ahead.
I don't understand why we went to the moon. Unless the conspiracy theories are right, we went to the moon. We went to the moon in the 1960s, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand why we can't go back. Did we forget how to do it?
So my wife was born the day after the first moon landing. So July 21st, 1969 was the initial moon landing with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. And we went and we did a bunch of missions to the moon, and then we came back with a bunch of moon rock. And what the government determined was that it just wasn't necessary. My wife's 52 now. So it's been 52 years.
Right.
Okay. Plus the government determined it was just too expensive and there was no point. They went up, they got some moon rocks. There was no point to go back. Now there's lots of conspiracy theories that are like, oh, well, we found aliens, or, all kinds of different things, or we never went, all these things. We definitely went. It's been proven.
Sure. So why has it taken this long to go back?
Okay, so it just took a long time. So we focused on other things. We were doing these. You got to put up a space station. Lots of other things that were better for civilization. We put up a lot of satellites for our. Now we can. Wherever we want to go, we can put directions up and we use location geo positioning types things. We have cable. We have cell phones. All these things because of satellites. And so we're building up our civilization, but social, I would say, getting throughout the stars and even inside of our solar system just wasn't really a priority because A, it's really expensive, and B, there was really no need. And what I believe happened, they've been talking about going to the moon for a long time, but then Challenger exploded and it set our entire space race back, 20 or 30 years. It really did. It set everything back.
So what has changed? Okay, so I'll tell you what has changed. Technology has changed. The supercomputer on those first missions our smartphones are 30,000 times faster.
A scientific calculator is more powerful than those.
Okay. Yeah. So what has changed is technology has gotten way better. Rockets have gotten way better. Computers, everything has gotten way better. So what else has changed? Has the moon all of a sudden gotten more interesting to warrant this huge program, this multi-phase program to go to the moon, or is it just moon rocks again?
No, I think it's a couple things. One is Elon Musk is going to embarrass the hell out of NASA by getting people to Mars. He's like just bound and determined to do it. Now, I don't know if he can or will, but the first step to getting somebody to Mars is to get somebody to the moon.
I don't know if Elon Musk is. I don't know if he's still going to Mars because he was looking for alien life, but he bought Twitter and found it.
He's not giving up on Mars, man. I promise.
I'm just joking.
But we found water. We found water on the moon in certain places that we can use to make rocket fuel. So you can set up a base on the moon.
You mean you can separate it for hydrogen?
Right. To make rocket. Yeah. I'm not going to go through the process of it, but yeah. So you can, they essentially would be able to make rocket fuel on the moon. So you have a moon base that can make rocket fuel, and it's much easier to launch things from the moon than it is from Earth because of gravity. Then we could eventually take a step out to Mars. So this is the long-term process. And also there's a lot of potential resources that the moon has.
So what you're saying is all these what Archmage said, all these private companies are basically doing it better, and now we got to get our butts into gear.
Yeah. I mean, they've been talking about this for a long time. The Orion rocket was a big deal. This is more of a test for the Orion rocket. This is the new solid booster rockets that NASA's using to get us into space. And this is a test for that to make sure they work well. They're the most powerful rockets ever created. And so that's a big deal. Space travel requires power. And,
okay. So what Matt said was the moon is a launching point for future missions. And now if they were like, this is a multi-phase process to building some kind of base or stepping stone or fueling station or launching pad or something on the moon, then I'm with it. I get that. But what I'm worried about, and I'm a little disillusioned by NASA, to be honest. I grew up loving everything.
Join the club.
I mean, I bought all the T-shirts and all the little rockets and all the models. I loved NASA. I loved everything about it. And then as I got older, I realized that NASA really hasn't done anything of import in a very, 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 very long time.
Well, for exploration purposes, but they've done a lot of good things for increasing our technology and the ability to. I mean, look, you would not be navigating your car wherever you want to. You'd still be using paper maps if it wasn't for NASA putting satellites up in space.
Right. Yes, yes. But although I would argue too, the last 20 years, private companies have gotten way better at doing that than NASA ever did. So
right, but private companies weren't doing it until NASA did it first.
That's
so.
True.
I mean, you're right to some degree. They're taking the step off of NASA's shoulders, and also Red Shirt's rule actually has a good point here. China is pushing the U.S. to do more and more because China's doing more and more, and we're not going to let those guys get ahead of us.
Okay, so that's my final point, and I'm glad this is a perfect segue. Thank you, Red Shirts. I think we need another space race.
I mean, it kind of might be what's kind of going on.
Dude, yeah. The best Cold War we ever had was the space race. We weren't fighting with each other. We were just competing to innovate, to get to outer space. So,
we were low-key fighting with each other.
We were, but war is a horrible thing, right? But there is good things that come from war because usually technology and innovation is mandatory to win wars.
Yeah, you got to remember, Vietnam was happening the whole time the moon landing.
We weren't fighting with Russia. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure we were. We were fighting communism.
Okay, so all right. So we were. So let me finish my point. They're trying to step on.
No, I'm with you.
War is a bad thing, but it's also a good thing in the sense of innovation. But with Cold Wars, it's a tense thing. No one has to die. But with a space race, no one's dying, and we're innovating. So we need another space race. Let's start fight. Let's get in a space race with China and Russia, and I guess that's only people that can compete. And let's see who makes it to moon and then Mars first. Let's do that.
I'm down. Let's go. Come on.
Eventually we're going to be fighting drone wars, and all those nerds that you guys picked on in high school for playing video games, they're going to be like ultra beast warriors. They're gonna be the guys with the best Twitch reaction. Just drone battles overhead.
Yeah, you need to watch Armada, which is the book written by the guy who did Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Armada. That's essentially what that book's about. Just really great story.
Oh my gosh, dude, Vader. Funny thing. So I was in the military, and I'm still under the age where I can still rejoin. Right. I'm still barely there where I can still rejoin the military based on my original rank and whatever, right? and I got a call from the Space Force asking me if I was interested in enlisting, and they would take my prior service into account and, get me in there, give me a good sign-on bonus. And they were really trying to sell me on joining the Space Force, dude. I'm not going to lie. For like maybe a minute, I was like, maybe?
You're like, what could I do there? But you realize you'd be like the janitor, dude.
So I would be the janitor. Yeah. I'd probably be like the guy who fixed like the boss's emails or something.
Dude, you'd be holding like the little things to test the actual astronauts going up in space.
Right.
Like,
I'd be a test dummy.
Carrying the booty stuff.
But I thought about it because my 19-year-old self, who stupidly joined the Army, I wish there was a Space Force back then. I would have joined the Space Force in a heartbeat. But no, I had to join the boring, plain Army and put myself in danger instead of joining the awesome, sweet Space Force. I wish I could go back in time. Hey, it was for just a minute. I was like, should I leave my family and YouTube and my business and just join the Space Force?
Nice.
No.
Yeah. Well, you could join it with Steve Carell, and because he's doing the whole Space Force thing. TV show's not that great.
Nah, I think it's funny, but I don't think it's. I don't think that's what the Space Force is actually like. But I
it's nothing like it. No, the Space Force is essentially a branch of the Air Force. I mean, it's separated itself off. The Air Force was handling it. It's basically NORAD, satellites. It's all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's still rad though, and the patch is basically the Star Trek emblem.
Yes, and here's to really give it to you. If Stargate was made today, they wouldn't be working with the Air Force. They'd be working with the Space Force.
Yes. In fact, if we ever got new Stargate, you think they're going to incorporate the Space Force? Probably.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah. Listen, this is the Space Force logo.
That's Trek, bro.
It's like a nerd's wet dream. You're saying I can join the Federation?
That's how you get people on board, dude. It's like the beginning of
Starfleet. Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
No, it's good. So just remember, Artemis. Pay attention to it. Follow it. Give it support. NASA really needs a marketing person. Like, they really need somebody. And I don't want to be hired because I don't want to work for the government anymore. That was too difficult. But they really need somebody to get excited. This Artemis launch should have been pumped up. Like, we should have got people pumped up about Artemis. And it's just like, bleh. They need somebody to get it hot. What is this you got going on here?
This is an actual Space Force decorated lieutenant.
They always do this. Is this a public? This is like an internet picture, right?
Yeah, it's a picture off their website.
Let me tell you, all the military girls are not this cute. They always go try to find the cutest military girls.
No, yeah. No, but the thing is, though, the Space Force has existed for like maybe 2 years, and she has a ton of campaign medals there. I don't know where.
Well, she was Air Force.
Oh, I see. So she switched over to Space Force.
Right. So you got to remember, Air Force was a component. Space Force was a component of the Air Force, and it basically broke off from the Air Force. So some people went into the Space Force.
And how cool is that logo on her hat? It's awesome. It literally looks like a Star Trek communicator. Oh my God, I want it so bad.
And you got to remember that the Air Force was once part of the Army. So the Air Force was the Army Air Corps. They became the Air Force. Now the Space Force came out of the Air Force. So Space Force was once part of the Army.
Oh my God, the dress uniform. Look, it looks.
Is it a spacesuit?
No. It looks like the Super Troopers uniform, bro. Not Super Troopers. What's the movie with the giant bugs? You guys remember that?
Oh, space. Yeah, they were just talking about it over here. Actually, it's Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. This looks like the Starship Troopers uniform. It's like they just pick sci-fi uniforms. Or maybe even Battlestar Galactica. Looks like that too.
Well, and to quote Jeremy Schneider over here, yeah, if we get to shower with Denise Richards, then all good.
Yeah.
From Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I'll join tomorrow. You hear that, Space Force recruiter? That's
there are
my
no
terms.
co-ed showers. I'm just letting you know.
Whatever happened to that chick, man? She just fell off the face of the planet.
She made some great movies, and then not great movies, but she made some movies where she was great in them, and then it was gone.
Man, I don't think she ever made great movies there.
Like I said, movies she was great in.
Yeah, definitely watchable though. Wild Things. Remember Wild Things?
I remember it.
Yeah, everyone remembers Wild Things.
Don't we all?
All my friends are like, "Oh yeah, that one actor was so good," and I'm like, "Really?
What?
What's his name? Do you remember his name? Oh, you don't? But you like it because that one actor, right?"
It was it Matt Damon, right? No, Matt.
Matt. It was a Matt though. Yeah,
it was a Matt. It was Matt. I don't know why I just lost his name right now.
but every time someone says, "Oh, I love that actor in that movie. It's such a clever movie," like that's not why you watched it. Let's be real. Like my wife's right there. Shut up, bro. Anyways, yeah, I want to join the Space Force. It's pretty rad.
What's up, Maria with T and Telly?
Maria!
Good to see you guys.
I watch Wild Things for the plot.
Good to tell you.
To be fair, though, it wasn't pretty good. If you watch it for the first time, watching it once, the twist is actually pretty cool.
Wild Things?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good movie from the watch. I mean, Nev Campbell and Denise Richards. I mean, that's why you watched it. But yeah, it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, but it's not a rewatchable thing. Like once you've seen the twist, it's not something you watch again. It's just not. And they made a Wild Things 2, and you're like, come on.
That's just to make money off of.
That was clearly just to make money off of.
It wasn't even the same actress.
It was Denise Richards was in it.
Oh, was she? Well, now you know what happened. So you don't do it twice if you got places to go.
Matt Dillon,
yeah. Charlie Sheen wrecked Denise Richards, I think. Matt Vader
yeah, he did. I couldn't help it.
Matt Vader 74 had a tweet that he put out the other day, which normally tweets don't get to me, but his tweet really got to me. And he put out a tweet that was basically like trying to wonder if he should go back to play World of Warcraft. And I got to tell you, I haven't played World of Warcraft in so many years, but I've been having that gaming bug lately.
Me too.
And so he got like the smack vibes going. Like I was looking to shoot up.
He was like,
quickly. Yeah, hardcore, dude. I was like, man, I want to play so bad right now, but we are so busy. It's just not going to happen. So thanks, Matt. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we have to have 2 Prime videos out by
Thanksgiving.
Before Thanksgiving. So before the end of next week, before the middle of next week, we have to have 2 big Prime videos out to fulfill our promises and sponsorships. It's gonna be a hard week.
Almost impossible.
Hey, real quick, there's another Matt Dillon movie called Employee of the Month. Has anyone ever seen that?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Freaking love that movie.
It's a good movie.
Let me tell you something. One of the best quotes ever is in that movie where someone dies or whatever, and Matt Dillon's character is talking to like this state trooper. And I forgot exactly what happens, but he says, "Okay, do what you gotta do." And he goes, "Yep, do what you gotta do what you want to do." And he just keeps walking. It was like a run-off quote that I have been now quoting. I've been quoting that for like almost 20 years. Do what you gotta do to do what you want to do.
That's so true. That's what it is, like literally.
Yeah, such a good movie. That's a great movie. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch that. Not right now, obviously, but go watch Play of the Month. It's good.
Oh, are you ready to do some of this?
Yeah, man. What do you want to do first, dude? Or second, I guess.
I just put it in like a weird order, so whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it's in a random order.
I mean, not really. I mean, I kind of broke up the things that we don't want together. So obviously we don't want to do the rant of the week behind the Artemis 1 mission, and we don't want to do so anyways.
All right, I'll just follow your thing.
All right.
Let's talk about some Zoe. No, it's not Dane Cook. It's Matt Dillon. But I can see how you would think it's Dane Cook because they both have like the messed up like pop marks on their face. They look similar.
But Matt wasn't the main character in that movie.
He was. Matt Dillon was the main character.
Really?
Yeah. He actually looks a little bit like a skinny Dane Cook. Like Dane Cook, if Dane Cook didn't go to the gym.
No, Dane Cook is the guy in that movie.
What? No, not that. No. Guys, I'm talking about the Matt Dillon Employee of the Month. Not the Dane Cook Employee of the Month, guys.
Oh, I never saw that one.
Oh, you're missing out. You watched the wrong movie. You watched
2004.
You watched the Wish version of that movie. You got to watch the real one with Matt Dillon. That is the movie with that quote, and it's outstanding.
I have never seen this movie. Okay.
Oh, you're missing out. It's a really good movie. And it has Zahn.
Dude, Employee of the Month with Matt Dillon came out in 2004, and then Employee of the Month with Dane Cook came out in 2006.
I know.
Like, how to step on Employee of the Month. Like, that's how you crush another movie.
No, I know. And like, so one was like a comedy heist movie, and the other one was a comedy workplace movie. And
yeah,
it like, they just put like a really hot chick with Dane Cook, who, I mean, Dane Cook can be funny, but he can also be just Dane Cook.
He's forgettable.
But in the original, the first one had Steve Zahn, which is a awesome actor.
I love Steve, yeah.
And Jenna Fisher, which I know you love Jenna Fisher.
Yeah.
And my teenage crush growing up, Christina Applegate.
Oh, not just, well, I don't know how it could be I guess it could be your teenage crush. That was actually happening as a show when I was a teenager.
We're talking about Unhappily Ever After or whatever?
No, with Married with Children?
Married with Children, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I watched it, and all I could think about was girls.
I mean, I don't know how you couldn't.
Yeah. All right, man. Okay, so these guys over here, they want to do Weekly Terry.
Already?
You want to jump into Weekly Terry first?
Yeah, why not?
Jessica Simpson was in the Dane Cook movie. You're right.
That's who it was. That was who you said, the hot chick, right?
Yeah, Jessica Simpson was so hot back then.
Back then.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I haven't seen her lately, but back then she's like. All right. I guess we can pop out the Weekly Terry first, right?
Yeah, why not?
Why not, dude?
Why not?
Did you give me the Weekly Terry?
I gave you nothing.
Oh, cool.
We're just gonna, you know what we're gonna do this week, guys? We're just gonna go down, and let me tell you why I didn't. Because I had a dream about Jonathan Frakes last night.
Wait.
For real.
Is it one of those dreams?
No, it wasn't. Although I will say what happened after Jonathan Frakes was really freaky, and I'll tell you about that too.
I've had dreams about Jonathan Frakes like that.
It was a weird dream.
So I had a spreadsheet.
It was a weird night of sleep, and I usually don't remember my dreams, but I remember this one very clearly.
Bro, how do I switch spreadsheets, dude? And why do we have so many damn spreadsheets?
Just close it and reopen it. Oh, you're actually looking for his tweets?
Oh, I got the Terry tweet spreadsheet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go through Twitter.
You guys want to see how detailed we are? This is how detailed we are. We don't play around. Here's our Terry's tweets spreadsheet.
Dang, that's a lot of tweets.
Yeah, we're also we should be casting to the member section too. I haven't checked it yet though.
Yeah, hopefully the member section is going right now. But hopefully you're over here chatting because we can't look at both of them at the same time. But we will be at the members here in about an hour or so.
Yeah, this is our look how long this spreadsheet is. Damn, Terry tweets a lot, dude. Like he does not play.
That's good for us. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah, this goes on for just pages. Pages and pages and pages. Oh, there you go. We finally. So
well, let's look at the good stuff.
We've captured 235 tweets.
You'll never get away from us, Terry. We've got them all.
No, we're not casting to Rumble because Rumble wouldn't actually let us. Well, Rumble would let us, but we couldn't cast Unleashed and Rumble at the same time. It was a weird thing with Streamlabs. I'm actually going to ask you about that later on. I think Matt has a way to fix that.
All right.
All right, let me get this recording.
Stinger.
1 second, bro. Want to make sure it's also in the member section. All right, we're good. Okay. All right. Let's rock and roll.
All right.
Oh yeah, it's right. We have the stinger. the Weekly Terry.
The way you do it is so funny. I love it. I love it. The Weekly Terry. Awesome. Well, welcome to the Weekly Terry, where we go through everything Picard Season 3 showrunner Terry Matalas has tweeted about this week. I do want to start out this week because one of his tweets, he actually just put out a tweet. He actually commented or retweeted a tweet from somebody who said, "Today is World Pancreatic Cancer Day." And Jonathan Frakes is a ambassador for this for the organization that raises money for it. And so he was put out here, and he, I guess, discusses his mission to save lives, which is weird because I had a Jonathan Frakes dream last night. It was weird. I don't remember my dreams typically.
Okay, yeah, spill it.
Okay, and of course I'm laying in bed, and
Did he have
Jonathan
his shirt
comes
on?
over. Okay, so I'm just kidding. That's not what happened. For some weird reason, I was getting a haircut in my dream.
Okay.
So I was at the barber. I don't know why. I don't need a haircut, but I was at the barber. It's probably because my little beard thing going on here. My wife was like, "What are you doing here? Why is that thing so pointy and long? What's happening?"
Mm-hmm.
And so I probably thought about it before bed. And so I'm getting my haircut, and all of a sudden I turn around and Jonathan Frakes is sitting on the couch talking to someone behind me, and I'm like, "That's Jonathan Frakes, right?" I got kind of excited, in my dream here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you don't realize you're dreaming. And I go over and I'm like, "Oh, Jonathan, absolutely." Of course, I feel like an idiot Star Trek fan, right? Coming up to him, "Oh, I love you," and it's Star Trek Next Generation. And I just came over and he's like,
"Can I touch your chest hair?"
He looked up at me very seriously and said, "Oh, I know who you are. I've seen your videos and I hate you." And I went, "What?" Right? Jonathan Frakes hates me. So this whole dream about how he's mad at me, like, right, in these videos we've made, which are all great. Jonathan Frakes is always great. I have no idea why I thought that or why I dreamed it. But then the dream turned weird because Jonathan Frakes actually walked me out to my car. And when I got to my car, there were these like 6 young women out there, and they just looked like they shouldn't be hanging out around the car. And they were just like loitering. So the moment I put my stuff in the car and Jonathan Frakes gets in the car with me, they basically like attack us and take my wallet, take everything in the car, and they rob us. They rob me and Jonathan Frakes in my dream. And I wake up to my wife smacking me. And I guess that must be why I was having that dream, because that's when we found out that the puppies were being born. So
that is very, very odd.
Yeah,
so
it is. They're dreams, though. I mean, what am I supposed to say here?
I don't know why, but just about every one of my Star Trek dreams ends in coitus, and I can't control that. So,
all right, and moving on from that. So, so what was put out here is essentially Jeff Conway put out here that, and Terry Matalas like this, more Riker coming in Picard Season 3 in February, right at Jonathan Frakes and at Terry Matalas. And of course, Terry wrote back to him, "You're right. It's a fact." And as we know, Jonathan Frakes is going to be, let me tell you, you've never gotten this much great Jonathan Frakes in Star Trek. I mean, is that fair to say, Brian? Like in Picard Season 3, his character is there's more depth to his character than we've ever seen before. Right?
Yeah. To be honest, I mean, this is not like a spoiler, but like I would say that the show might be called Picard, but it could be called Riker, and you wouldn't, he has played such a big role in it. I think he's in every episode. I think.
Yeah, I think you could probably say, it would be fair. You're right. The show really shouldn't be called Picard. But it is, because it's Season 3 of Picard. It should be called Star Trek Picard: The Next Generation.
Right.
I mean, it really should be called that, because the show, I think there's as much Riker as there is Picard.
There is just as much Riker as there is Picard. Maybe more. Yeah. Honestly, maybe more.
Possibly. Yeah.
And Riker is Jonathan Frakes is really great. He is top tier top of his game, Riker, for sure.
You know, he was really hesitant to come back to acting. I mean, he's such a director. I mean, he's a great director. He's directed all the stuff, you know, all the sci-fi stuff he directs. And it took a little bit of convincing for him to actually do Picard season 3. And I got to tell you, guys, it's like he never stopped acting. He's just so good.
Yeah.
You know, it showed us how much we missed him. You guys are going to love Picard season 3.
You're right.
We're going to say that about 150,000 times between now and February, but just
it's a fact.
It is a fact.
Hey, Todd Stashwick as Lobo. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, not over my boy Jason Momoa, but I could definitely see it.
I think Terry liked that tweet, right?
He retweeted it.
Of course, you guys know him from 12 Monkeys. He was that character gets good as 12 Monkeys moves on, seasons 2 and 3.
Yes. Yeah, he's great. Great
actor. We got some other good stuff here. Oh, so Terry Metalis, there was a tweet put out about. There's been a lot of Quentin Tarantino tweets lately. I guess he's putting out like an 8-part series, and people are kind of clowning on him because he's like, oh, really stretching it out to do that last movie, huh, Quentin? Because of course Quentin Tarantino said he's only going to do 10 films, and then he's done, right?
Oh,
or 12, whatever it was.
And he's on his last one.
Well, yeah, he's only got one more. So he's doing like this mini series, basically. I think it's probably going to be for HBO. It's going to be like an 8,
but he's holding on to that last movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody put out here Quentin Tarantino's shortlist for the cast of Pulp Fiction, and it like lists it. And then Terry wrote, writing for Amanda Plummer as your first choice is always a good idea. Because as we know, Amanda Plummer plays Vadic in Picard season 3, which is one of the bad guys or gals, and
one of the baddies.
And we know that Amanda Plummer was a numero uno choice, and there was no other. So
Honey Bunny.
That's why he tweeted that.
Yeah, it's very interesting about Quentin Tarantino, because I bet you he really wanted to make that Star Trek movie. I bet you he really wanted his last big movie to be this like balls out blockbuster Star Trek film that he can just like throw everything into. I sort of feel bad that he wasn't able to accomplish that.
I'm actually kind of glad it didn't happen, because once you find out what it's about, then you're like, I don't know if you want that to be his last movie, because it was basically a gangster Star Trek movie.
Right. Like, I wanted to see it, but I don't want it to be part of the Star Trek canon.
I mean, I agree. And his last movie needs to be epic. I guess Quentin Tarantino saying that his most recent movie, the one about Hollywood and the murders that happened, is his best movie. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, you look at Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction; those have to be. Or, I mean, Kill Bill. I think all those are better than what he did there.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you know me. My one of my favorite movies of all time is Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes, yeah, great movie.
I think,
that wasn't one of his though. I don't think it was Robert. Wasn't it Robert Rodriguez?
Didn't he write it?
I think he was part of it, but I don't think it's one of his official movies. Is it? Is it one of his official 10? It could be, but I thought he did that in coordination with the other guy.
Yeah, it was written by Quentin Tarantino.
It was written by him, but did he direct the movie? Because he acted in it.
You're right. I don't think he directed. It was directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yes.
So he wrote it.
It's not his movie.
So I mean, yeah. It's his story. Yeah, right.
Right, but it's not one of his counted movies.
Yeah, it's great. I love the movie. It's great. Oh, I'm not gonna show it right now, but later on in the members section, I'm gonna show you guys this cool thing. So what else more for Terry, man?
Well, I'm going through it, and there's a really there's a lot of really interesting stuff out here. Terry got he got caught up a little bit in the politics of the time.
Everybody was
there's the thing with politics recently. Of course, we had the election, so it's hard for people not to speak up. There's so many election things happen, but I love this. There's one of these tweets he put out here. It's actually a lot of blue check marked Star Trek fans. It's like Star Trek cosplay with all the blue check marks back on November 15th.
Oh yeah, where is that? I like that
No-
tweet.
November 15th is the tweet.
That was a great tweet.
And I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
that kind of looks like Worf.
Yeah,
It really, he
check
did
this
such
out.
a good job with that cosplay.
So he's making fun of the fact that everyone's like buying check marks, right? So like here's the new TNG.
Yeah, because anybody can get a check mark. So it's like you can, but I don't know if you can say you're somebody else.
Well,
Like,
here's a deep cut for you. That right there is an adult film.
what?
That is like
I don't-
this ain't Star Trek: The Next Generation XXX or something. Yeah. it is.
How do you? I don't want to know how you know that.
I own this film. No, I mean,
I helped make this.
look, guys, I like all things Star Trek, even the weird stuff.
I like all things Star Trek.
Yeah, no, that's like the adult version of it. I thought that was funny.
That is great. There's a little somebody put out, this is actually pretty interesting. So we got Willow coming out. I think November 30th it's going to come out on Disney Plus. We'll be covering it, by the way, if you guys are Willow fans and you want to follow the series. And somebody put out a comment here. It said
I'm sorry, real quick.
yeah.
This guy attacking him for seemingly no reason because he posted this picture. Look, guys, that's however you fall on the Elon Musk Twitter debate. That's objectively funny. Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's funny regardless of how you fall. Somebody replied with, "So on top of being a hack, you're a rich hack. I think that raises you to the rank of shill. Your agent must be so proud." And he responded with, "Yes, sir, very much, sir." I mean, look,
find that guy. Find that guy because
I
he obviously
don't
doesn't know
understand though. Like, why?
Well,
Why are
I'm offended by the fact that he called him a hack because he's not a hack. Obviously, he's not a hack.
And we've officially now seen everything Terry's done, and he's not a hack. Trust
He's
me.
not a hack.
So I don't
And
know.
he's definitely not a shill.
But I don't understand. Why are you even offended by this? Like,
Because people are offended by everything they don't agree with. And that's the problem with the world. I don't want to do a rant here, but seriously, if you're offended by what somebody else does that has nothing to do with you, your family, or your life, you need to go take a deep breath, go drink a glass of water, and shut the hell up. I'm sorry, but if you're going to get all trolly on Twitter for dumb reasons, listen, if it makes you angry, then you should be pissed that you allowed someone else to make you angry on Twitter, that they allowed you to ruin your day and change who you are as a human being through the freaking computer.
you're making
I'm sorry.
this guy is making you angry right now. Just so you know.
This is why I skip through a lot of this dumb
Yes,
stuff.
guys.
Like,
Those are the insurrection stunt doubles. I was joking. Those aren't porn stars.
but it's just, listen, when people say stupid things, they're obviously not true, no matter who they are. It really irritates me. And obviously this guy hasn't watched anything that Terry's ever made. So
No. Yeah. People gotta chill out, man. Not much of the Trek. Because the election, it was very, very heavy on the
well, somebody did say they wanted a Picard season 3 Happy Meal at McDonald's.
okay.
And Terry was absolutely, me too. Let's get that. And listen, it wouldn't surprise me at all if there was some sort of Star Trek Happy Meal coming up. That would be fantastic.
I doubt it.
Why? They do it all stuff. They're doing stuff all the time.
They're not gonna do that.
You think it's all cartoons now?
Yeah, it's all cartoons, all kid crap now.
And plus it costs like $36 for a Happy Meal now. So it's really tough in the current economy. That's supposed to be a joke.
Oh yeah, it's true. My bad. I was reading this. Trek Central sent them like the L cars or whatever for USS Titan. And someone asked him, he says, "I cannot wait to see the whole season. Those cords are from First Contract, right?" And he said, "No."
Well, Trek Central has a really good Titan video out there that really goes deep into the Titan. And they did a pretty good job with the video.
Yeah, those aren't not First Contact notes. That's not the First Contract theme song. Although the First Contact theme is in the show. It was in Picard season 2 too.
You're right.
All right, so that's about it for Weekly Terry. It's been thin. It was thin, and you guys can blame politics. Stupid politics. Stupid politics always ruining everything.
I'm hoping now that election time is over, we can just kind of move on with the whole. Let's get back to like fun stuff again.
Look, real verified accounts.
We've been saying this this is the Wish version. Listen, I'm holding all judgment to see what happens.
It's literally a man with a mustache and a cigar.
Oh. Well, that was a great scene, by the way, in that movie. But I mean, I do have to admit that Matt Vader 74 has a blue check mark now, and I did like scroll through and like slow down and go, "Whoa, wait, what's that? That really is Matt Vader 74." All right. So it does make you like stop for a second and make sure that somebody's got, if they're verified. Of course, we couldn't get verified because we don't Apple. So
yeah, I found out this is before Elon Musk. I just found out recently though that a buddy of mine who has like 300 followers and a small Twitch channel, and he doesn't even try, somehow got verified, like actually verified. And I was like, yo, man, how did you pull it off? He goes, I don't know. They sent me an email. I answered it, got verified. Like, I don't understand. And then I'm looking at his picture. I'm like, oh, it's because you're so freaking handsome. That's why.
Don't send me your picture, Brian. That's the mistake. Do not let them see what you look like.
Problem is, they saw our pictures and they're like, nah. No, but this guy's a good-looking guy. They're probably like, oh, he must be someone important. And so they proactively verified him. Meanwhile, us plebs over here grinding every day trying to get a blue check mark. And now that you can buy it, we still can't get it because we're lowly Android scum.
That's a whole story in itself.
Yeah. Vader says, bow before my blue checkness. All right, well, that's about it for the Weekly Terry, guys. Sorry, it's a little thin this week, but you guys can blame American politics.
Yeah, and the last thing we can say about, just since we're in the Weekly Terry, is if you want to know more about the stuff that he makes, and the reason why we're doing a Weekly Terry is because we're very excited about Picard Season 3. We're jealous that all of you will get to see it for the first time, and we won't. And we just want to say that we know you're going to love it. And go out and watch, if you get a chance, on Hulu right now, 12 Monkeys is playing. If you want to get a feel for how he kind of puts a story together, go watch 12 Monkeys. It's a fantastic series if you haven't seen it, and it doesn't get enough love. So watch that series in preparation for Picard Season 3, and forget Picard Seasons 1 and 2 even happened. Just forget about it. So
the reason Shane's saying that, just in case maybe you didn't pick up on this before, because we saw it and it's amazing. Take your blue check mark now, bro.
We should get a blue check mark just for that.
All right. Anyway, that's it, man. Listen, like I said, this week was thin, not for lack of trying. Like we did the homework. It's just there's not much there this week. I'm sure next week we'll make up for it. So make sure to come back next week, hit all the buttons, subscribe, and comment below. And again, ask some questions, because one day we're going to get to interview Terry, and we plan to ask him all the questions that you have forwarded to us.
Yeah, we'll have him on a session. We'll definitely have him here for the Weekly Terry at least a couple times before the show starts.
Someday. All right, that's about it. Moving on.
How we got going over here in the chat?
I didn't realize how many tweets are in that. So there's tweets, and then there's like tweets and replies, and there are thousands in this spreadsheet. It is crazy.
You know what I try to do? I try just to go. I mean, I only go back about 5 or 6 days, and just kind of go through what's there, because there's just too much stuff.
Yeah, there's too many. Blue sky.
All right.
Nothing but blue skies. All right, what's next?
Looks like we got some Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana. She is a looker.
Yeah, she was.
I think she's super hot, actually.
I mean, I'm not saying she's not still a good looking woman, but she was definitely much better looking 10 years ago.
I like her more now.
All right. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. What's wrong with me? I know that. The older women get.
I do like the older chicks. That's true. I'm not gonna lie. I own that. The more aged, the finer the vintage.
Whatever, dog. Keep that all to yourself.
Yes. Hello, Granny.
Oh.
All right, let's rock and roll here. We're talking about Zoe Saldana. She thinks the delay for Star Trek 4 is more than just scheduling. And I gotta tell you, I think that we were already. We made like 2 videos on this topic, so I think that they're finally getting on the same page as where we were at for the last 6 months. But I'm with it. What's up with this, Shane?
Well, Zoe basically, who plays Uhura, is talks about that Star Trek 4.
Stop real quick. The way you say that, every time we get comments of people saying, "Why are you saying it that way?"
Uhura?
You say it like this.
Okay. Listen, I live in Southern California. My wife is a half Mexican, and I have some Spanish words in me. And when you put a U and an R next to each other, it is very hard not to roll that R.
Bro,
so Uhura.
We made a whole video on this character, and there are thousands of comments asking why you're saying the name that way.
That you're saying my Spanish dialect is not coming out, or what? Obviously, I roll my R's.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go try this again. Zoe Saldana, Uhura.
Yes, there we go.
It just sounds so white when I say it like Uhura. You know that Uhura girl? That's not the way they're going to say it in Africa. It's an African name. So basically, she's saying that everybody's been kind of playing the same game, whether it's Zachary Quinto, whatever you want to call his name, or Chris Pine. Everybody who's talking about Star Trek 4 is basically saying the same thing, like, "Hey, look, we're ready to do it. When they decide to do it, let's do it." And a lot of people have been saying, well, maybe it's scheduling. Well, Zoe Saldana is saying, well, maybe it's more than just scheduling. And she went in to do this article with trekmovie.com where she was asked, we were in touch with J.J. Abrams, and we were trying to sort of see if we were going to be able to get together this past fall. I don't think it was possible. I have my sort of ideas that maybe it was just like schedules were very complicated. We couldn't manage to get a whole cast and a whole crew to sort of come together. But I think as well, it probably has something to do with the project. But I know that we're all on the same page, and we would love nothing more than to come back. So we kind of heard a little bit something about this.
Yeah, we did.
And it's possible that the reason why Star Trek 4 is not happening is because there was a little bit of a disagreement behind the scenes.
Yep.
There was a little bit of a script whoring going on.
Yep.
And let's just say that Star Trek series, future series coming up, Starfleet Academy is something that's probably going to happen, guys, as far as one of the future new Star Trek series. And I know that's going to make a lot of people not happy, but we do believe it's going to happen. We do believe it's going to happen in Discovery's timeline, unfortunately, with Tilly.
Yeah,
when that happens, there's going to be a lot of angry people.
Yeah, it's literally all the worst things. It's like, it's like we're going to make this stupid thing no one wants in the worst possible time frame no one likes with one of the worst characters everyone is annoyed by.
And before we go too deep into that, that is actually a story for later in the show.
Okay, all right.
So let's not go too far. But the reason why it's a big deal is because apparently Star Trek 4 script had something to do with the Starfleet Academy. So if that's the case, and there was this problem between, because the people doing the movies and the people doing the TV shows are two different things, then there was some headbutting happening. And it looks like that may be part of and this is just rumor. We don't have it as a fact, but we do feel that we've heard enough that would tell us that the potential Star Trek 4 movie had something to do with Starfleet Academy, and there was some bumping of heads between creatives on who was going to get to do what. So, what do you think of that, Brian?
So, I know we're going to talk about the other Star Trek Academy, but Starfleet Academy. But the thing is, I don't even know if Starfleet Academy was a good idea for Star Trek 4. Like, we were already at the Academy. The characters have moved on past then. You know, I don't understand why we aren't just following the 5-year mission. I feel like movies have to have this big, like, galaxy scope every time. It has to be a big, giant movie where tons of people are in danger or whatever. The heroes have to, like, save everyone. It can't just be a mission. Why can't it just be a planet they explore? I truly don't understand. It's like the people that create Star Trek right now. I feel like they just don't understand the importance of the characters, and they really want to jump. Everyone wants to be Marvel. Everyone wants to be, this big, huge event. Bro, at the end of the last movie, they're on their 5-year mission. So make one of the missions. Go visit a planet. Go find something. Go explore. I don't. Why does it have to be? And if it can't be that, let's go back in time. We can't do that, so let's just start everything over again. Like, I don't get it. It's so frustrating to me.
No, you're right. I think they're really struggling. I mean, the whole Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pine thing where Kirk's dad was going to come back and we're going to have this thing. I think that was like a real thing that they wanted to do. And that's just not going to happen. And so now they got to come up with something different. And they're just really struggling with coming up with a script. So there is scheduling issues. There is having the right director to go forward. And also you got to think about when you go through all of the Star Trek stories, like all the movies that we've ever had, right?
Right.
It's never just a mission. I mean, there was a TNG episode that was a TNG movie that was just a mission.
Nemesis?
Before Nemesis.
Nemesis was pretty much just a mission. They weren't saving the universe.
Nemesis was. Remember, it was a whole like the Romulan clone thing with, they were going to come back.
I'm sorry, you're right. I meant Insurrection.
Insurrection is the one that was basically just a TV show, a long episode of TNG.
Right.
And I don't know if that's the best one. It's not, obviously, but
no, it's definitely not the best one.
Right. And Star Trek Beyond wasn't very good, in my opinion. I did love the Bones Spock time together, but I didn't like.
I love the energy of it.
Yeah, okay, but movies have to be more than energy,
But that movie was also like a big problem. Like, the guy was coming back with all these drones, and he's going to kill this space station with millions of people on it.
Get rid of that thing there in the background, please.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, you can't. Well, here's the thing: is I think that there has to be some sort of larger consequences when you do a Star Trek movie. There has to be. Like, that's the whole point of a movie. So they can't just go and do an episode of TV, a long episode of TV. It needs to be something with consequences. And I think they're running out of things to cover. I mean, they could create something new. It'd be cool if they could figure out a way to tie in something else. Maybe they could do, I don't know. We'd have to really sit down and think about an idea.
Instead of rebooting and starting in the beginning, what you need to do is what this man on the screen does, Kevin Feige. You need to start small, introduce new villains and new characters, solve problems that are smaller now, and work your way up to a larger universe hanging in the balance events.
Right. But can you do that now? We've already done 3 movies with these actors. Now we're talking about using the same actors. So do you start over with new actors? Don't want to do that. No, we love these guys.
Same actors. They're on the 5-year mission. Find a planet they're exploring. There's something going on. They gotta like bend the rules of the Prime Directive to fix it. And during that time, they meet a character that, some ominous character, right? Like, let's say Harry Mudd, And
that'd be cool.
And there's a little and at the very end, there's this little like, sort of like hook. Now you've had this entire story. You've seen the beginning and end, but at the very end, that character does something that implies that he's going to be part of the next movie in some way. And you start building the story into the big galactic ending event.
Yeah, that would be good. I think they need to take something from TOS maybe and expand on it. Take one of the stories, take one of the characters and maybe go from there and let that build into its own universe. They could do that. And I think
right,
that
Chappie. And Kevin Feige's, right now is sort of garbage. But when I refer to his geniuses, I'm referring to the first 2 phases. Because that he started small with a guy in a cave making an Iron Man suit, and he ended with 50 superheroes fighting the biggest bad guy on the planet or in the universe.
Yeah. The problem with Paramount is that they really can't risk. They can't do what Disney did. They can't risk a flop with Star Trek. So it's got to have consequences. It can't just be, the first phase of a movie, or a TV show, extended TV show. It really has to be something with a little more consequences. So I don't think they have an easy task ahead of them. I mean, they need to find something creative, like going back with Voyager and V'ger, even though the motion picture is not the most entertaining of all the movies. They need to take an idea like Star Trek 4 with the thing with the whales, and the probe that came. I mean, these are very creative ideas that have major consequences for humanity that still encapsulate into this one great movie. I think they could do something like that. They would have to, figure out a way to do that again and try to tell a story, something with consequences maybe to the solar system. That might be fun.
All right. Yeah, sure. I guess you're right. But I understand how they can't take the risk or whatever of making a movie that's not going to do really well. But here's an idea. Maybe spend a little less and like what Chris Pine said, expect $500. Expect $500 million and not $1 billion. Budget for how much you're going to make on it, and don't shoot for the
Star
stars.
Trek's never going to make that much money. It's never going to make that much money.
I got to tell you, though, if they start small and work their way up, it might be, okay, they're making a couple $100 million and 300. They can get there. They can get to $1 billion movie. They have to build a universe. I know they think they already have one, but they don't. I mean, they do, but they don't. Like, these are new characters. A lot of the new people are watching. They aren't watching for that reason anymore. So, it's these characters aren't nostalgic. They're new. They represent nostalgic characters, but they're still new. I don't know. You got to start. You got to start small. What's that?
Yeah, I mean, they're sort of new. You got to remember, it's been a long time since 2009
You're
Star Trek.
Yeah.
So there's definitely something that can still be done. We want to see it. And the good news is that they're all, even despite like Star Trek 4 being done, they're all still saying the same thing. Hey, yeah, when JJ calls, we'll be ready to go. Zachary just said, literally the day after Zoe's story came out, yeah, I'm like just waiting for JJ to call. I got other things to do and I'm going to do them. But when he calls, I'll be ready to go. So that's the great thing about this is like the actors really want to do it. I mean, it's just really wonderful.
Yeah, from everything I've read and seen with all the behind the scenes stuff, it seems like the actors do really like each other. Like they're really very friendly. So that's cool. All right, so listen, that's it. Listen, hit the subscribe button away in the comment section. Let us know what you guys think about Star Trek 4. And in the chat, let us know what you guys think about Star Trek 4. Are you just over it now? And let's just start over. Let's move on to the next generation or whatever. Let us know.
It's time for the next generation.
You think there's going to be a J.J. Abrams version of the next generation someday?
I freaking hope not.
Imagine like a young Picard, bro.
Dude, listen, I mean, I get it. Like, this was cool. But no, we don't need that anytime soon. Maybe in 20 years, 30 years or whatever. But
they really had a shot to do this right. And they weren't doing poorly,
No,
I know
they just weren't doing enough. They were spending too much money.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So Star Trek 2009 Look at the Rotten Tomato score, dude. It's look at this.
I hate rock. I know.
I understand that, but look, how many movies have where the critics and audience are in sync?
It's true.
Okay, and here the its budget and how much money it made. Its budget was $150 million, and it grossed over $487 million. I mean, dude,
that's why we got a number 2. But then look what number 2 did.
Into Darkness, such a good title. They really
I actually like the movie. I know a lot of people don't like that movie. I like it because there's a lot of like alignment with actual Star Trek Wrath of Khan in the storytelling. I love how they reverse Kirk and Spock's roles in how at the end of that movie when they're stopping Khan, and you got that nice emotional scene between the two. I like that. I know a lot of people didn't, and I thought that the guy who played Khan, who was an incredible actor, just was not a good Khan.
Benedict Cumberbatch,
incredible actor, was not a good Khan at all.
Bro, check this out. $190 million budget. It made $467 million, and
well, it doesn't include marketing though, and marketing was huge.
Still double fresh.
Yep.
And they also had deals with like...
Look at Beyond while you're at it real quick.
And Beyond's probably going to be garbage. I get it. But right now, both these movies pay for a sequel and then some.
Well, they did. You got to at least throw $100 million onto marketing.
Okay. That's still $467 and $478 million on 150 and 190 million budgets.
Well, I think it's hilarious is I don't even think they need to put that much money into marketing for Star Trek. They just don't. I mean, Star Trek fans are going to find out there's a Star Trek movie.
Yeah. There's going to be YouTube videos talking about it nonstop. Trust me, we're one of them. Hey, here is right. Star Trek Beyond budget was $185 million, so it was $5 million less than Into Darkness, but $15 million more than 2009. And how much did it make? $343 million.
So it paid for itself.
So even if you tack $100 million in marketing onto that, it still makes a little money. And wait for it, Star Trek Beyond's Rotten Tomato score, ding, 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 certified double fresh. So I know people don't like these movies, but across the board, all three of these movies have critic and audience ratings between 80 and 95%, and they've all made money, and one of those movies made more than double its budget. So these are obviously winning. It's obviously a winning franchise.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. So there's going to be a Star Trek 4 at some point. We'll just have to see what happens and what the script is. And I think Paramount realizes they can't afford to lay a stinker on Star Trek 4. They just can't. And because everything is kind of trending down for those movies. So,
yeah, I mean, to be fair though, I'm not sure what I like. I don't want to be mean because I like the James Wan, I believe, Justin Lin.
Yeah.
They hired Justin Lin to do Star Trek Beyond. He is like Fast and the Furious, Better Luck Tomorrow. Like he makes like these like high octane, like action movies. He's not a sci-fi guy.
I know. Yeah.
Looking at every one of his movies, they're all action movies, and not a single one is even close to being a science fiction movie. So he didn't really know how to make this movie. So you picked the wrong guy, unfortunately. And there was obviously things about it that didn't work. Also, you get someone like what's the guy that played the bad guy? Oh my God, Idris Elba.
Oh,
you hire Idris Elba and then you cover him up for the whole movie.
I know. Yeah.
Tell me, what is the point? Why?
I mean, a lot of stars do that in Star Trek, but you can still recognize him. It was really hard to recognize Idris.
I couldn't recognize him. You know, it's funny that because the makeup was so crazy that I was genuinely shocked when he ended up being a Starfleet member. I was like, oh, really? Okay. Spoiler alert. Because the makeup was too much. You gotta allow the actor to emote. You know, show that it's Idris Elba. You're paying top dollar for an actor. Show his face.
Something's missing from that movie. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. There's some slowness to it. There's a lot of time on the planet. I don't know.
And that's another thing. Star Trek needs to take place in space. It's called Star Trek, not Planet Trek, not Motorcycle Trek, not whatever. I understand a lot of the movie did, but a big portion of that movie took place on a planet. And you know, a lot of people blame the new actor too, and I had no problem. I liked the new actor. I thought she was cool.
I mean, she was okay. She wasn't a draw. Yeah, but she did her job.
Yeah, they didn't really have time. You didn't have time to like connect with her. Like, it's one movie. That's why you want to connect with these characters over time. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not what Star Trek isn't really about carrying these extra characters onto other movies, but. You know, if you go back to TOS, you know, you have a landing party, but, you know, some things happen on the planet, but a lot also happens up on the ship. So when you lose your ship, you got a problem.
Right. The ship is and you know what? You just hit the nail on the head, my dude. In Star Trek, the ship is a character.
100%.
So in Star Trek Beyond, they opened up the movie by killing one of the main characters.
Yeah, that is a problem. I know that was the whole plot point of the whole movie, that's what was happening there, but should have found a way to save the Enterprise so the Enterprise could come save the day.
Right. It should have been the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a massive mistake. That was probably what started the domino effect of that movie not really working in some way. You killed one of the main characters. Like, you might as well kill Bones. Same thing.
No. Hell no. No, listen, don't kill Bones. Bones. Favorite character. Bones is my favorite one. Don't kill him.
Hello, computer.
That's Scotty.
Sorry, you're right.
You can kill Scotty. I'm okay with that.
No, don't kill Scotty. That's my favorite character.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Hello,
in the rebooted characters, he's not my favorite. Original series.
Yeah. You know, you just hate that little alien, dude.
I hate the alien, dude. I hate the little alien.
Dude, you guys,
why they do that for toys?
Shane hates the little alien guy that hangs out with Scotty in the new Star Trek movies. He hates him like with a passion. Fractured Vision really wants us to see that he is typing Star Trek Trump. I'm assuming.
What?
I don't know.
Star Trek Trump? Maybe there was some sort of thing happening with Beyond that we weren't aware of.
I'm assuming that's the case. Okay, let's move it on. What's next? You want to rant of the week?
I feel like we just ranted, but yeah, why not?
I mean, you want to skip? We can skip it if you want.
I'll leave it up to you, good sir.
Yeah, you know what? You want to save this rant for next week because it's a doozy. No,
because then the timing is off. This is happening now.
Okay,
this is what we got to talk about now. We don't have to talk about right this second.
Then we're doing the rant of the week.
All right, woo!
Ready?
Yes.
Rant of the week.
We are talking about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was just recently on SNL. He was the guest host, and he had an awesome monologue and some outstanding sketches. The guy is a gem. The guy is a legend. We need to protect this man at all costs. He is a truth teller. He somehow turns truth into comedy. And I gotta tell you, a lot of people on both sides of the political aisle hate this guy. And I don't get it. It's a shame.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you just said it. He's a truth teller. And no one who wants their agenda to be spouted out and believed likes a truth teller. Because the problem is other people's agendas have holes in them. And the great thing about Dave Chappelle is whether or not you think he's racist or anti-Semitic or anti-gender, anti-LGBT, anti-trans, whatever you want to say that he might be. The one thing with him is that nobody's safe with Dave Chappelle.
No one's safe.
When Dave Chappelle is doing his jokes or having his conversation about, like he did even on SNL, he hits everyone. He not only hits everyone while he's talking, but then he also gives everyone a little bit. So he'll hit the left, he'll hit the right, he'll hit all of the groups that we're talking about, but then he'll also give them some. So it's this pulling and this giving and taking that he's doing during his monologues that say, oh, wow, he just kind of attacked the group I identify with. Oh, but he just like gave us credibility too. And he tells the truth. He's weaving a story. And the problem is the people who, if you're not all on one side, then then these groups think that you're all against them. So either you're with us or you're against us.
Right.
You know, and Dave Chappelle is like, look, I'm not. I'm for the truth.
Right.
And the reason why we love Dave Chappelle is because that's what we are about. We are about the truth.
Right.
Regardless of what side you're on or what you're doing. So when Dave Chappelle went on to SNL to monologue about Kanye West and his trouble with his anti-Semitism comments, it was genius. It was absolutely genius because not only did he punk on Kanye West, who he knows very well, but he also punked a little bit on the Jewish community, and he punked a little bit on the Dems, and he punked a little bit on the Republicans, and he punked a little bit on everybody.
Right.
But he pointed out these little truths, whether it is, you know, what did he say? He said, Kanye West, hey, you know, this is, you don't say these things. This doesn't, you don't do this.
He opened up with like an apology letter to the Jewish community.
Right.
And then he goes, see, Kanye, that's how you do it.
Or that's how you buy some time because he already messed up. Right. He already said some things. And then Dave goes on to say, well, I don't know if you've been to Hollywood, but there sure are a lot of Jewish people out here.
Right.
So now that's the extent of what Dave Chappelle said. And here we go. This interview, this article, Jerry Seinfeld says Dave Chappelle's SNL monologue about anti-Semitism provokes a conversation. So Jerry Seinfeld, of course, one of the most famous, Seinfeld was one of the most famous comedy shows of all time, sitcoms. He got asked some questions by the Hollywood Reporter, and he was just kind of asked about the whole thing, and he really tried to avoid it because that's how Jerry Seinfeld works. And he's like, "Oh, the comedy was well executed," and they kept asking him questions like, you know, was he right? You know that. And he said, "Well, it provokes a conversation, which hopefully is productive." So he wouldn't commit to it. He's not going
to answer. Are you kidding me?
And he also said they're not close friends. But what I found interesting about this article is when you scroll all the way down, it talks about the Jewish Civil Rights Organization and their comments about this. So Jonathan Greenblatt, the head of the Jewish Civil Rights Organization.
Oh, this douche. This guy is such a douche. By the way, I'm Jewish. I can say that this Jewish guy is a douche. Not because he's Jewish, because he's a douche. He went after the guy's job. Sorry, Shane, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, let me just get this out real quick. Shared his thoughts about the monologue via social media on Sunday. He said, we shouldn't expect at Dave Chappelle to serve as society's moral compass, but disturbing to see NBC Saturday Night Live not just normalize, but popularize anti-Semitism. He wrote, why are Jewish sensitivities denied or diminished at almost every turn? Why does our trauma trigger applause? So I just wanted to talk about this specifically because when you look at this monologue, that is really an indictment on what Kanye West did, realistically, but an opportunity to spotlight the idiocy of everybody else surrounding this, right?
Right.
There is no anti-Semitism in what Dave Chappelle said here.
No.
There is no cheering anti-Semitism. There is no, what did he say here? Why are Jewish sensitivities denied or diminished at almost every turn? Why does our trauma trigger applause? That didn't happen here.
It didn't happen.
The fact that he mentioned it, the fact that he talked about it. I mean, the only thing he said was, "Hey, there's a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood."
Yeah.
So
there are.
And that lends some, and that is true. That is true.
It's a fact. I worked there. It's a fact.
But it doesn't mean that that they have an evil agenda or that something terrible is happening. It's simply the truth. So when Kanye West is dealing with whatever he's dealing with, you know, he is apparently surrounded by a lot of Jewish people that have made him angry, but not because of what happened to Jewish people or all that stuff. Listen, the Jewish people went through, during World War II, they went through incredible atrocities. They have been, I don't know, it blows my mind. I do not understand why anti-Semitism exists. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
I've said this
either.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Then again,
I don't get it.
I'm part Jewish, so I don't get it. Why do you guys hate me? I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't really understand. Like they didn't bother anyone.
Well, my point is well, did they
go to war with someone? Did like I can see someone being mad at Germans, you know what I mean? Or now Russians. Like I can see someone having a problem with an entire group of people based on like actions like that. But like the Jewish people were just persecuted, right? They didn't.
I can't figure it out. I've tried. I've had some people try to explain it to me. There is some sort of deep-seated ill. It has something to do with surrounded about money. It has something to do with surrounded about power. I've had some people tell me it's because Jesus was killed or something by the Jewish people. I don't know why, but these people were persecuted.
Talk about holding a grudge, but guys, come on.
And here's the thing: is if Jewish people are being persecuted in 2022, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like I get, you know, black people are still trying to recover from slavery and from terrible laws that this country's created.
That was like
go ahead. No, go ahead.
That was as soon as 50 years ago, right? Like, are we hating on Jews because of something that happened during Jesus' times?
I don't know. Something happened, and maybe somebody smarter than us can explain it. So I don't understand. I don't understand why there is. I mean, I don't understand why there is. I don't. But then again, I don't understand racism really either. So,
but it also could. And another thing too is I do believe, and I'm going to say this as someone who is half Jew, I'm half Hebrew by blood. I believe that it is overblown and it's given a bigger platform, I think, because of the people in charge of these various news outlets and whatnot. This man from the Anti-Defamation, whatever his name is, he is given a lot of power in media, simply because of anti-Semitism. So he needs anti-Semitism to continue in order for him to keep his job. If you think about it in a real twisted way, and I'm sorry to bring it here, but if there isn't anti-Semitism, then Jonathan Greenblatt doesn't have a job.
I mean, that's definitely one way of looking at it. I mean, it's like he has to say something in any opportunity where it's mentioned. I guess that is right. Now, I would like to just say, Brian keeps saying he's half Jewish. I'm not at all. We're brothers, but I'm not at all Jewish. Yeah, so that's all on the other. Yeah, so it's all on the other side. So I'm not speaking from a point of I don't understand it. I'm not connected to it in any sort of way, so I don't get it. But you know, it just seems to me that Dave Chappelle is a truth sayer. And if you're part of an organization or a group that's like, look, Dave, if you're not with us, you're against us, then I think you need to like question your own situation and the way you think about things, because we need people who tell the truth. Like truth tellers is what we need. The media doesn't tell the truth. Politicians don't tell the truth. Special interest organizations don't tell the truth. We need someone to tell the truth. And frankly speaking, it might only be comedians and YouTubers that can do it, at least until Google tells us we can't anymore. So Dave Chappelle may be the last bastion of hope, my friend.
Well, yeah. And, you know, maybe we try to tell the truth, but we're also stifled by, we don't want to get a strike. We don't want to get like some demonetization for saying the wrong thing. So while we attempt to always tell the truth, we can only do so much and keep the limited platform we have, because the system is ran by people that want to control the truth.
Well, I don't think that's ever stopped us from telling the truth. I don't think we've ever not said something because
we have to like walk on eggshells a lot.
Well, we can't just, we're not going to necessarily use certain terms that are going to get us in trouble, but our opinion is still going to be factual and accurate for what's happening. And we're not going to ignore something or not talk about it. So make sure you guys continue to come back here to get our rant of the week, so you can get the perspective of whatever crazy thing is happening this week in our world that people need to hear the truth about.
Real quick though, because Shane talked a lot and I wasn't able to put this in.
Yes, do what you got to do.
Jonathan Greenblatt is a douchebag. And let me tell you why I'm saying that. I don't know the person, but what I do know is his actions. And when he said we shouldn't expect Dave Chappelle to serve as society's moral compass, but disturbing to see at NBC SNL normalizing, but not just normalize, but popularize anti-Semitism. This dude went passive aggressively after Dave's money. Oh, I don't expect Dave to actually do anything correct, but come on, NBC. Oh, it's such a dirty, passive-aggressive nonsense. And you know what's funny is if you watch Dave's last stand-up special, he has an entire half the stand-up special is about not going after a man's money. This guy.
Well, they attacked Twitter too. They attacked Netflix as well. So.
I'm sorry. What?
They attacked Netflix as well from his special. So this is how everybody who attacked Dave.
Oh yeah, I'm just talking about Jonathan Greenblatt though.
But you're talking about NBC. So I'm just saying Netflix was also attacked. NBC's attacked. They attacked the platforms because they want to stop. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that's dirty. Like, you want to criticize the man, but like, I love how he sidesteps Dave Chappelle as if Dave Chappelle isn't worth the time and goes after NBC.
Well, if you attack Dave Chappelle, nothing happens. If you attack NBC, maybe something changes.
Right. Well,
that's why they do it. That's what's happened.
It doesn't make it right or any less dirty or douchebaggery.
No, corporations need to stay strong.
Yeah.
The problem with businesses these days is they're terrified of being canceled. And this is the first attack, to cancel somebody, to quiet other people, to shut people up, is to cancel the corporations or the businesses that pay people to speak.
Right.
And that's an attack incentive. That's a target of these special interest groups that want to control the narrative. So,
and here we go. Here, listen to the comments on those guys. Oh my God. On his tweet, here's the comments. Exactly right, Jonathan. It was chilling to watch. No trauma should be laughed at or made fun of. None. Oh my God.
No trauma should be laughed at or made fun of. I mean,
I disagree.
You're right.
With that.
Trauma is trauma, and we have to have
closure.
Not closure, but we have to have empathy for other people, certainly. But there also needs to be truth telling, and there's some people who have trauma over things that maybe it's their own personal trauma and not the trauma of an entire group of people.
Oh, here's the next one. You are all overplaying the anti-Semitism trope, and it appears to be with black men only. So now this person's accusing this man of being racist. It's not about religion. It's about white supremacy being practiced under the guise of it. I disagree with that.
I'm not sure what white supremacy has to do with anti-Semitism, although I do believe that that racist white people are also anti-Semit, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Because guess what, guys? Most Jewish people are pretty darn white. So
yeah, I mean, they're light skinned for sure.
Yeah.
Finally get to somebody with a brain. Watcher this morning admit to being a huge Chappelle fan, did not feel the set was anti-Semitic. He gave some to everyone, which is what I expect from a comedian who specializes in social commentary. Thank you, George. You know what, George?
Yeah.
Follow.
All right, George, you got to follow because you got a reasonable answer, buddy.
Right. He's a comedian. Do you not understand that? He's making fun of everyone. Get a grip. I mean, yeah, this is the right answer. That's right. I do love I gotta be honest, however I feel about the new Twitter with Elon, I love the fact that I'm finally starting to see like more than one opinion on a Twitter thread. For the longest time, all you would ever see is one side of a conversation. And now you're starting to see like a mix. You know?
True.
And that's it. Hit the comment, the subscribe button. Let us know what you guys think about Dave Chappelle. You guys see the set? You guys like it? My favorite part of that SNL, and by the way, funniest SNL I've seen in a decade was the Black Heaven sketch.
Oh, you know what? I love that. But you know what? SNL has no balls, man.
Chef's
They
kiss.
actually on YouTube, it's put up as the Heaven sketch. They couldn't put the word Black Heaven on. I mean, it's just, I hate that the world is like this, that you can't, it's not offensive to say Black Heaven, guys. That's what the skit was literally called.
That's what the sketch is about. How
Right.
silly it is.
Put it on YouTube.
It's funny how they're making the commentary on that is how silly it is that the color of their skin is changing exactly what this person can say or not say.
Right.
And then they go and do that with their own title.
I know. It's just terrible.
If you guys missed Black Heaven, you gotta go watch it. Basically, Dave said he's gonna sit out of a sketch, and he's gonna have someone fill in for him. And he got the whitest cast member there to fill in for him. And it's all about these very stereotypical black things. And he's uncomfortable the whole time. And there's
it was a fantastic sketch. It was like throwback to Dave's the Chappelle show stuff.
Very, very good stuff, man. Anyways, okay, let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, moving on.
Let's save the Starfleet Academy for the member section.
Okay. Let's do that.
All right.
So we're doing Alien next?
Yeah, why not?
You want to do 2 Doctor Who's in the member section?
Well, so here's the thing is like, why don't we do 1 Doctor Who here and we'll do 1 in the member section?
Okay. All right. So then let's do one of the Doctor Who's next. What do you want to do first? The Doctor Who and Bigots or Matt Smith?
I don't care, but let's do Doctor Who. Well, we just got done talking about bigotry. Let's save
Alien that for the
Alien.
member section.
Okay, let's do Matt Smith's return and Alien, and then we'll go to member section.
Okay, let's do that. Is Matt Smith's return? That's the one from the 4chan link you gave me?
Yeah. You've got me now seeing these things. I'm like, dang it. I don't know if I want to be here.
I've gotten Shane into looking at 4chan leaks. It's just a matter of time before you're carrying a tiki torch and yelling at Jewish people.
It's what's crazy about it is like you really don't know if it's true or not, but then you realize if somebody's going to put truth, it's going to be here because no one can find out it's them.
Yeah. So the thing about this, no one can find out it's them. There's no repercussions, and it will never be censored or removed.
Right. So you really have to take everything from there with a grain of salt. But there is about like a small percentage of hope that it's true.
Okay. So let's start up. Is Matt Smith returning to a Doctor Who style series with creator Stephen Moffat? We believe that there might be a little bit of truth into this rather intense rumor. So exactly what's going on here is it's being rumored that Stephen Moffat and Matt Smith are returning for a BioShock style Doctor Who series. So think of Matt Smith's Doctor, but set in a BioShock type of miniseries.
What does that mean? Can you explain that?
Have you never played the game BioShock, have you?
I didn't know.
Okay. So BioShock is a very narrative, I guess that's the only way. A narrative-driven game. It's all about the story.
Okay.
And basically, it was a first-person shooter, and it's about it's like an underwater utopia, and it's called the City of Rapture, and they gotta like find something and fix something, and it's like very steampunky. And
So how would that? So are you saying the style of the show is going to be BioShock?
well, it's probably going to be a little bit of a mystery with a little bit of retrofuturism, that kind of thing. And if you
It sounds
look,
Doctor Who-ish.
if you look at some stuff that Doctor Who has already done, it definitely has that retrofuturism style to it, anyways.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. So what they're saying here is that the series will see a far future incarnation of the Doctor, played by Matt Smith, who possesses a very different personality than the 11th Doctor. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The series is set to take cues from fan favorite games like the BioShock series, and it will be entirely set in the early 20th century on an isolated island near Svalbard, where mysterious events are occurring. Smith is set to film the series late 2023 after filming for House of the Dragon Season 2 wraps, and is aiming for a 2025 release. The series will be produced by RTD, Moffat, and Brad Wolf Studios and distributed by Disney Plus and the BBC. It is set to be the first multiple limited spin-off series featuring old and new actors of the franchise. And this information is coming, it says it's connected to Variety somehow. T connected to Variety, right?
Yeah, and I gotta say, I do believe everyone kept telling me, "Oh no, Disney only paid for the rights to stream it. You know, they're basically just gonna jack the rights from HBO Max."
That don't sound right to me.
But yeah, see that it's actually impossible. Like, consider this for a minute. HBO Max, HBO, or Warner has the rights to Doctor Who specifically until when? 2026. You think Disney is paying for the rights to stream the Doctor Who series now in 2022? No, come on. They're probably making another series that's going the same way they did with South Park. How like Paramount had the rights to this South Park, and then HBO had the rights to this other part of South Park, and they're buying the license rights to create content for their platform using that IP. That's what I believe they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, and if they're not doing some, this is why this makes so much sense and why we're reporting it, because based on Disney's acquisition, this makes sense. Like, this is the kind of thing that you're going to want to do, especially Matt Smith coming off this House of the Dragon. His acting is so wonderful.
Yeah, fantastic.
And he just owns the whole screen when he's on it. And I don't know how people are going to feel, though, if he's not the same Doctor as he was before. That's going to be interesting because he's such an iconic Doctor. Seeing him in a different way might be hard. So I don't know how they're going to do this, but Doctor Who, man, they have got an uphill climb after what they've done to themselves over the last several years. And it'll be interesting to see if Disney can make it better some way.
Yeah, they've really pooped the bed. They went from Doctor Who is a generational brand, and there's not very many of those. And then even more so when they brought it back with Eccleston for the new Who, but they continued the series instead of rebooting it. When they did that, it went worldwide. I mean, it was a worldwide phenomenon. Everybody liked it. Every age group, every age range. You had grandpas that are in their 70s that were enjoying it with their 12-year-old great grandkids because they are now watching the same thing. What a opportunity. And boy, this is how you blow it, man. This is how you blow it. You take a working model that in my opinion was getting better and better and better, and you just decide to throw a big old giant social justice woke wrench right in the mix and just tell at least half of your fans they're not important, and then even worse, sacrifice the story to fit your social narrative.
You know what it is? Sometimes when you're too close to your own work, you tend to mess it up. A lot of people do this. Like Like, there's a reason the McDonald's logos look the same for like a long time. It's
Mhm.
because if it works, you don't change it. And it's like Doctor Who's like, well, we've done this doctor, and we got to Matt Smith, and you're like, wow, this guy's like the most ideal doctor of all time. Where do you go from here? Because if we just get some other dude, there's no way he's going to be able to shine a light on it. And they were heading in such a great direction. You got to remember, BBC from the 70s all the way up, they had different doctors,
Right.
some better than others. And when it was doing great, you might have another doctor like, well, he's not so good. And maybe I'm watching it, maybe I won't. They didn't want a decline. So they wanted to do something different. They changed their brand. They brought in Peter Capaldi. Now they got an old doctor, right? Throwback to like the original series when they had older doctors, right?
And it's not bad. That first season worked. It was working for
Right.
sure.
So then they got to the end of Peter Capaldi's time, and they're like, well, we can't just like go back to a David Tennant, Matt Smith thing. We've done the old doctor. What's left? Well, we haven't done a girl doctor, and that's kind of what happens. Instead of just going with what works, you try to change it because you think you think it's going to be stale, but it's not. People love what you're doing. Keep doing it. That's the problem with a lot of these things.
And the crazy part is too, I would even argue that you could have had a girl doctor. You could have made it work.
You could have if you didn't have, it wasn't all about being a girl doctor.
Yeah, but the problem is you fundamentally changed the doctor. All of a sudden, the doctor was a hyper feminist.
Yeah, just let the doctor be the doctor.
Yeah, all of a sudden the doctor was a modern feminist, and every story was about the feminine struggle and minorities. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand. Like, you would have had people, you would have had detractors for sure. You would have had people that complained about it. Sure. But the problem is, you took all of their complaints and you made them reality on screen. You made all the people that you were complaining of being bigoted, you made more fans feel the way they felt automatically when you leaned into their narrative and you actually did exactly what they were saying you were going to do with that character.
Right. Yeah. They should have just had like a Sigourney Weaver-esque doctor, like from Alien, just like a badass doctor. That would have been great to bring in a girl and just have her kick butt or something. That probably would have went over really well.
Well, and on the same note, they also decided to go back to the origin of Doctor Who and make him, the little African American chick that wasn't even a Time Lord, and
yeah, that's the problem. I mean, that's when you try to change everything to reach a narrative, and I don't know what the hell anybody's thinking.
You can't mess with the foundation of a generational series and not expect there to be problems with your home, with your house, with your franchise. You can't expect to do that.
I mean, imagine if like Superman, right? We go back to Krypton, we get this, oh my gosh, we never realized this. Go back to Krypton the day he's born, and you see he's actually having a surgery where they're changing his sex from female to male. Like Superman was always supposed to be a girl. I mean, that's kind of what they're doing here. Like, they're trying to change the fabric of what the character is so that we could say on some level, see, we've got it all figured out, and it was supposed to be this way the whole time. And now you can believe it. It's freaking insanity and stupidity. How are these people even allowed to write these shows or do these shows? Like, how did it get to the point where there's somebody listening to these idiotic ideas that are happening? I just don't understand.
Yeah, and you're totally right. The craziest part about it is that there are fans and people that fans that are praising it and encouraging it, but they're not actually the customer.
Right. It's a super minority.
Right. It's a tiny minority. They're not actually. It's almost the same thing like in video games. We're like, I can't believe you put a big buxom, big booty girl in your video game. That's sexist. You're like, wait a minute. Who's gonna buy this? Oh, 15 to 25-year-old males? Like, in the 90 percentile? Yeah, that's why.
It's called Tomb Raider, guys.
Right.
Just
yeah. But instead, what these what these companies do now, they're like, oh, you're right. Sorry about that. Let me take that out and make it for you, the person complaining.
And they're not playing the game.
But they're not the ones playing the game. They're not
Right.
buying it. They're not playing it. And then these companies go, what happened to our annual revenue? Why are we losing money? You're not making games for your customers anymore. You're making games for people complaining who were never customers in the first place. Ah!
Well said, bro. Well said.
Jesus. Okay.
Amen. Show just got religious all of a sudden. Yeah.
My bad. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section below. You guys want a Matt Smith, Stephen Moffat return to a Disney Plus sort of Biodome style? I mean, I would like that.
Doctor
Honestly,
Who?
I'd watch that. Doctor Who?
Yeah, I want it.
Hey, hit that comment section. And on the way there, please hit the subscribe button.
Absolutely. I love this comment over here. I think this is a perfect way to describe it. Archmage said, BioShock is steampunk Ayn Rand. And of course, Ayn Rand is the person who wrote Atlas Shrugged. And I can totally see exactly, like I got a vision of that by you making that comment. So thank you.
Yeah. That's a really good way of describing it. It's very difficult to describe.
Yeah.
Like when you were like describing it, like I played the game, but like it's too big of a universe for me to tell you.
Interesting.
It is very narrative driven, bro. The whole thing, like the story is what makes that game special, not like the gameplay or whatever. It's a story. Much like Mass Effect,
which I didn't play either. So
yeah, missing out.
Who has time for games?
We need to make some time for games. Let me ask you guys a question in the chat.
I don't know how.
Would you be interested in like a monthly thing where we all just went on like World of Warcraft raids, like big Twitch streaming World of Warcraft raids? Let us know in the chat. Or any game. You know what? We can pick the game every month and we can all do this big giant, couple hour playthrough on stream. That's what I want to do.
I just don't know when to find the time for it. It's just everything's so busy.
I haven't gotten a single minute to enjoy myself in like 6 months.
Well, maybe we could do something for you. I don't know if I could get away with it, but maybe.
All right. Willow's next, right?
I think we're gonna do. Yeah, what do we say? We're gonna do Alien, and then we're gonna take it.
That's right.
Or we can either do Alien now or Willow now. Totally up to you. And then we take the other one to members.
Let's do Willow and the members because I'm gonna scream.
Oh, all right.
That's gonna be one where I would like to not be criticized by the general public.
So that said, if you guys want to criticize Brian, please come to the member stream after this, and you'll get to do so.
Yeah, so we're going to do one more article, then we're going to head to the members section, guys. I put the link in the chat if you want to, or just wait. It's going to take you there.
It'll take you there automatically, yeah.
All right, let's talk about this.
All right.
We are talking about the new Alien. Hold up, 1 second. Bacon Jr., are you a member? If you're not a member and you'd rather talk about Willow, we can switch it up, bro. Let me know in the next 5 seconds. But if you're a member,
I think Bacon's a member.
I think Bacon's a mega. I think you're a member, bro. So just hang 10, and we're gonna do Willow. We're gonna do Willow in the member section.
Let's do Alien here.
All right, we're talking about Alien, a brand new movie. We do not know if it's a reboot. We do not know if it's a continuation, but we do know that apparently Kaylee Spaney, and I don't know if I said that name right. Did I say that name right?
Kaylee Spaney. I mean, that's like the only way you can say it.
Really?
Kaylee
Spaney?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Kaylee Spaney is circling the new movie. And again, we do not know if it's a continuation or a reboot, but we do know that I can totally see her playing a young Sigourney Weaver. I can see that.
Sigourney. You're so funny.
Sigourney. What is her name?
Sigourney Weaver.
Is it Sigourney?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When you have a name like that, don't expect people to get it right. Sigourney.
She's only like a legendary actress.
I'm bad at names, Shane. Shawnee.
I know.
Listen, Shawnee.
I got it. It's
No, but
just
look.
sorry. There's some that are ridiculous, and I think that was hilarious.
I think Kaylee Spaney can totally pull off a Sigourney Weaver, although she looks better in this picture here than in this picture here. I don't know if this one can pull off Sigourney Weaver.
No, the picture they used I thought was very, and I'm pretty sure that's probably why they did it. She's got kind of the short hair thing, shorter hair going on, the kind of the pasty complex, you know.
So what do you think, man?
Well, it looks like, here's what we'll tell you what we do know. Okay, so according to Deadline, momentum is revving up on 20th Century Studios' new Alien movie, as sources tell Deadline Kaylee Spaney is in talks to star. Fed Alvarez is directing, with Scott Free producing. It's funny, when it said in the headline, and Scott Free, I'm like, oh, is that like no Ridley Scott? That's like the way I read that was like, Scott Free is that like a clever way of saying Ridley Scott's not going to be a part of the film?
Right.
Which wouldn't be surprising if he wasn't. But no, apparently Scott Free is the name of the company producing. Maybe that is Ridley Scott's. We'll have to look. Anyways, not much is known about the topic other than the iconic, ferocious race of alien beings called xenomorphs will be front and center, again, raining terror against the humans that cross their paths. 20th Century and Scott Free made this a top priority after hearing Alvarez's pitch.
So
I'm
sorry to cut you off, but I think it's Ridley Scott's production company.
Is it really?
Because it says Blade.
I mean, that
Runner,
makes sense.
Alien Covenant, yeah.
Scott Free. It makes sense. And I don't know why he would let anybody else do it. But.
These producers get so big that they start their own companies, and then you start referring to their companies instead of them, like Bad Robots Productions, and because JJ did the same thing, like Bad Robots producing this thing, and everyone's just assuming that everyone knows what Bad Robot is, right?
Right. Scott, I think you've definitely, is Scott Free the one with the bird, like in the beginning?
Yeah,
like it takes off or something.
Yeah,
right,
it has like a little bird, like a crow or whatever.
Yeah, the crow. Okay. It says here, so they made this a top priority after hearing Alvarez's pitch, and after a recent script was delivered, things only gained speed in getting this film in front of cameras by early 2023. While execs are going through their process on other cast members, Spaney has been the top choice for the lead role for some time, after several meetings with producers and Alvarez. Let's see. Spaney is set to play Priscilla Presley in Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, opposite Jacob Elordi as Elvis. They're doing another Elvis movie, huh?
Yeah, they're just gonna bleed that dead man dry, bro.
I mean, the last one was so great. Like the Elvis biopic that just came out was so good. Sofia Coppola, she does make good movies. And if they're doing a Priscilla, that could be interesting. The whole story is fantastic. So the fact that Spaney's being picked to play this role is a pretty good nod to the actress. If we look at some of the things that she's been in, she's only been acting since 2016. She was in Pacific Rim Uprising. She played Amara. She was in Vice. She played the 17-year-old Lynn Vincent. So not much there.
She was in Willow? What?
I don't see that.
Why is it listed as being in Willow?
Oh, in the upcomings?
No. It says she was in Willow 1988.
No. I would go to IMDb. I wouldn't look at that.
Maybe she was like the baby. Maybe she was the baby or something, dude.
It's not listed in her acting credits. So, I mean, if she was, I mean, I guess it's possible.
Oh, was she this character?
She's too.
Oh no, she wasn't.
She's too young, bro, to be anything in Willow.
I guess
she wasn't even born. She wasn't even born yet.
Google got it wrong, man.
Maybe she's in
the new one or something.
She's not listed in it if she is.
So the Kraft legacy was actually a surprisingly decent continuation of that franchise. I was a fan of the first Kraft, and I expected this to be absolute utter garbage, and it actually wasn't. It was actually it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either. So I was impressed by that.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things to look forward to about this movie is the fact that the script has been approved. the studio really likes what the script's going to be. You've got Ridley Scott's production company making it, so he's got to like what's happening. And so it kind of gets me a little excited about it. I really did not enjoy any of the Alien versus Predator kind of movies. If this gets back to like the Prometheus style for Alien and kind of the whole saga they went through with that, and I think Ridley Scott's last one was just the one after Prometheus. If they get back to that sort of storytelling, would be cool. Or even if they rebooted the original Alien movie. I know nobody likes reboots, but I think it would be interesting to re-envision Sigourney Weaver with a new character and kind of explore maybe what they were doing out there and do a little bit more in that realm. I could see something like that happening.
I feel like there are some movies that you shouldn't reboot because it hasn't been long, hasn't been enough time, or perhaps maybe it was a solid trilogy. I think that Aliens can be rebooted. I think it can be.
I think so. I mean, you got to remember it's been 40 some odd years. So
it's been a long time, and let's be fair, not every Aliens movie was rock steady. So this would actually give, in this unique situation where it would give the original producer of these movies a chance to like rebuild the franchise, knowing the mistakes that were made in the previous films.
Right, and by saying mistakes, we're not saying Alien and Aliens aren't almost perfect movies, because in a way they are. But with the technology and the way you could make movies back then, there's just so much more you could do now. You don't want to change the canon or change anything, but the bulk of what made Alien great was that it just scared the hell out of you. It's Sigourney Weaver on the ship, and she's, got aliens coming after.
Yeah, it's like a survivor horror thing. No, I'm not saying that they're bad movies. I hope that's not where anyone thought. But there's only so much you can do at the time those movies were made.
Right.
And then movies that came afterwards were like weird prequels, and it was almost like he was trying to like soft reboot it. Maybe you just reboot it, start from scratch, and start making movies from there. Because
that's what I'm wondering. Yeah, go ahead.
Because Aliens, Alien 3, whatever it was called, that was a disaster.
It was okay. I mean, I like the whole monk thing where she killed. I actually kind of like that movie.
I'm sorry. Is that maybe I'm thinking about Alien 4, the one with the baby?
Alien Resurrection was the third one.
Alien Resurrection. That's the one where she has a baby, right? It has like a baby alien hybrid. Yeah. That movie was a hot mess.
Yeah, Alien. That was Alien 4. So
Alien
Resurrection was the fourth one.
That was a disaster.
It wasn't great.
In comparison to the first two movies, that movie is like, what?
Right.
That's like eating a cheeseburger when you just had a filet mignon.
Well, and when you think about it, because you're right, this is a good point. So when he went and did Prometheus in 2012 and gave us like this origin story, and then did Alien Covenant in 2017, those are prequels. So it almost makes sense that the next one would be right about maybe the time, or maybe it's something in between the Sigourney Weaver story.
Ooh, what if instead of prequels, what if he already rebooted it and we just don't know yet? And what if he just started a little bit behind so they can get the lore up, and then he starts moving and shaking?
Well, I mean, I do think Prometheus and Alien Covenant were explanations for the original Alien movies. So I don't know if he rebooted it. You know what I mean?
And what I'm saying, though, is usually you want to build your universe before you tell your story. You don't tell your story and then go, oh, by the way.
But you couldn't. He couldn't. I mean, he was not a big name actor. He was not a big name director. So when Alien came out, he just kind of had to keep moving forward. So
I gotta tell you, for this new movie, he got the right director. He got this guy. What's his name? Fede Alvarez? Fede?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I got the name right. Fede Alvarez. He did Dusk Till Dawn, the TV series, which, considering the fact that they can't have an R rating on that show, they got away with some seriously balls to the wall horror. and Evil Dead, which I love that movie. The guy is definitely an up and coming guy, director that understands horror.
Yes,
he does. He understands like horror, and he utilizes in Dusk Till Dawn. He really utilized the series. He really utilized the same way the aliens were terrifying because you didn't know where they were. You can hear them moving, and
right. Yeah, you could see him through the countdown for meters. Yeah, that
right.
was cool.
Yeah, he utilized that same effect in Dusk Till Dawn. It saves some money, and it adds to the terrifying factor.
Absolutely. What you can't see is, and he's also got, he's got Texas Chainsaw Massacre for 2022. The guy's a horror guy. And guess what? Alien is a horror franchise.
Yeah, it's horror sci-fi.
It's horror in space.
Right.
So
it's horror sci-fi survival.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. I'm going to be paying close attention to this as I'm going to be looking forward to it. Love alien movies. As long as Predator's not involved with it, I'm good.
Oh, so hush your mouth, young man.
Sorry.
AVP was before its time.
Let me tell you, AVP was like rich people squirting on themselves or something. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like, how can we make the most money possible?
No. Listen. You're not understanding the industry changing event that was AVP. No, let me explain. I'm not making a joke right now. No, maybe it didn't make a lot of money. Maybe it's not critically acclaimed. But remember this. There was like two big before crossovers were a thing. Before people thought about combining franchises to make billions of dollars.
Which they should never do, by the way.
That's not. Are you talking about Marvel? Marvel, you liked Endgame, did you not?
Marvel is the same thing. Predator has nothing to do with Alien.
No, it does. Now let me finish. Let me finish.
Written by different people. Yeah.
Who cares? Listen. So was all the Marvel movies.
Marvel's one comic book. Yes.
No, it's not. It's a series of stories written by different people. Listen.
All produced by Marvel.
There are two giant. So the name of the game now is all about crossover, franchise building crossover events. And there are two crossover events in the history of cinema that you have to respect even if you didn't like the movies. And that was when Freddy met Jason at the end of that movie with that little cut scene with his hand coming up. And the theater lost its mind. I remember being a teenager and thinking like, what happened? Did someone get hurt? They lost their mind when they realized that there might be a Freddy versus Jason. And
it's a money grab,
and then it didn't happen for like 30 years. But that was huge. And I'm sorry, when you're watching Predator and you see the alien in the ship, the alien skull, huge. Now maybe it was just little Easter eggs, but those are crossover. They changed the industry when they realized that people were so excited, stupid excited about that. The industry completely changed from there on out. Every big tentpole movie wants to be a franchise, and they want to cross over. And
I wonder why James.
Mark my words. There will be a Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover. Mark my words.
I know. You keep saying it, and I don't know why James T. Kirk never pulled out a lightsaber. I just don't know why it didn't happen, because sometimes it's just about the money grab. And I'm sorry.
And you know what? That wouldn't have made sense. But bro, Predator versus Alien makes sense.
They turned the aliens into cattle. I just didn't like it. I didn't like that they turned the aliens into creatures instead of intelligent beings. They were like things to kill. That was all it was.
The same movie?
Yeah, Predator was the hunter, and the aliens were the prey.
No. So the aliens that they bred to hunt were stupid on purpose.
I know.
They came from the original Predators. A big part of that movie is when our actual alien shows up who wasn't bred dumb. And
let me tell you how serious.
And he just tears through the Predators, dude.
Well, let me tell you how serious you should take it. If you go back and look at all of Ridley Scott's Alien movies, there aren't no freaking Predators in them. Okay, and he's the guy who came up with it. So that's all I'm going to say.
I don't know why you're hating.
You can look at it.
I don't know why you're hating the AVP, bro.
I don't like him. I don't like it. I like Predator. I like the first Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm sorry. Which one's better, Predator 1 or 2?
The first one.
Yeah,
This-
you're crazy. You're an insane person.
What are you talking about?
No. Predator 2 is a real sci-fi film. Predator 1 is not sci-fi.
All right.
Predator 1 is a cash grab. It's
Your age
Arnold.
is telling.
It's
No,
Arnold,
it's not.
Yeah, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger at his. It's like it's the height of his. It's like The Rock. Let's make a fun movie. This crazy movie with the military guys in the jungle. Look, Predator 2 required thought. It required character.
Predator
building.
2. Anything with a 2 behind it is literally
That's
a
not
cash
true.
grab.
Terminator 2 is a better movie than
Literally
Terminator
a
1.
crash grab. It doesn't matter. It's still a cash grab, even if that is a better movie, and it was made by the same person. So that makes sense.
I don't care if it's a cash grab. If it's a better movie, it's a better movie. Predator 2 and Terminator 2 are and I would argue Empire Strikes Back are examples of the sequel being better than the first movie.
You're right in 2 of those 3 situations.
Oh, you're an insane person. Okay,
We'll have to agree to disagree.
Okay, sometimes we don't always agree, guys. That's it.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Hit that subscribe button in the way in the comment section to tell us, what did you like better, Predator 1 or Predator 2?
And if you want to see us, wait, what Predator? This story isn't even about Predator.
It doesn't matter.
Don't ask that
this is
question.
where
That's
we
not the
got.
question.
Whoever wins next
No.
week, whoever wins has to shave off one eyebrow.
I will win because the second one is not better than the first one.
No,
So-
you're an insane person. The comments will decide who wins this fight next week. Eyebrows coming off with our sponsor Manscaped.
Manscaped did not sponsor this.
They did not, yeah. But I still have their stuff.
I don't know why you said that.
No,
And if you want to see us fight some more, come on over to the member section.
All right, we're going to the member section, my friends. It's in the chat, and it's really simple because you can either get there by going by doing nothing and just waiting. You can get there by going to popcast.co/join. You can get there by going to youtube.com/thepopcast/join. You can get there by clicking on the link in the chat or in the description, or literally do nothing, and it will take you to the member section. Whatever it is, whether you join us or not, we appreciate you spending this time with us today and every week. You guys are fantastic. We love you. We would not be here if you guys didn't show up. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for supporting us, and we hope to see you in the member section. But until next time,